Hi, this is John with Simplicity Collect Software Support, and we thank you so much for joining us for today's specialty training covering filtering. We have a demonstration account that's up right now, and it just has some fictitious accounts in it that we use to run troubleshooting and other things. So these are fictitious accounts that we have displayed here. When we talk about filtering, we talk about probably the most important component of the software. When I go to the home screen and I click on my magnifying glass and I have a list of accounts here, these accounts are usually randomized, or at least they were up until we came up with a new feature that offers these column headings, custom column headings on them that we'll cover here in just a few moments. But in order to pull up accounts that you want to see at any specific time, you are going to use filtering. Whether you're a new client or whether you're a client who's been with us for months or even years, focus should be placed on really grasping these filters and how to best manage them. At any point, I can use my collector or client name or legal status or collection status, my action codes, a list of my action codes here, or my creditors, or any of these dates to combine together to pull up the accounts that I want to view. And so looking at those fields on this filters section here and really taking stock of how to best do that is an important part of the software and definitely can aid to your success. When we look at these filters, I might want to filter by a specific client. I might want to go to 1-800-Flowers, and I might want to view accounts that my collectors have accessed from this client yesterday. Okay, now we probably aren't going to come up with any results here just because this is a sample account, and I would doubt that any of our support agents have accessed a 1-800-Flowers account yesterday. But the intent is still there, and we can search for any of our collectors who have, or any of the accounts that a collector has accessed yesterday from that particular client, or from all of our clients if we wanted to. Same thing with a last payment. So if I wanted to take a look at what collectors, maybe I want to look at a specific collector that has collected payments from the first of the month through today. I can also do that as well. So that filter in itself would pull up any payments from this particular collector that has happened this month so far. So it's a great way not only for collectors to pull up accounts and work through a work list on, but also for administrators, or in my opinion, particularly for administrators, to monitor the progress of their employees. Okay, so again, the emphasis is on you taking time out of your normal routine to look at each one of these filters individually and imagine how that might be useful in your day-to-day work routine. Okay. Now we'll go to a couple of the tools here that we're going to view. Well, let me first talk about clearing filters. When I have a specific filtering set up, oftentimes what will happen is that I'll go back in later and try to run a search, and the search will come up empty. So if I apply a group of filters, and I don't know that anything's going to come up on this, it's not, but if I apply a group of filters and I have a list of accounts here, and then I go to one of those accounts and then come back to this home screen, I've received a phone call and I'm trying to look up an account, and I plug in an account number here, that account number will only pull up if it's within the specific filter criteria that I've established here. So if you're looking for anything outside of your established search filter criteria, you're going to want to first come in here and clear all your filters and then plug in that account number or that last name or whatever search you want. So just keep in mind that your current filtering is still active until you clear it, okay? And that may interfere with your searching. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So all users have access to these filters, and that filter screen looks the same for everybody, regardless of permissions and account status. Correct?
That is correct. Yeah, the screen looks the same, but depending on their permissions, it may not perform the same way. For instance, if I'm a collector and I search for all open accounts that have a last received date of January of 2011, it may or may not pull up if I don't have accounts assigned to me. If those accounts aren't assigned to me as the collector, then I won't see them. Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir. No problem. So let's go over to our bulk account manager tool. Okay. So our bulk account manager tool has the same group of filters up top, and we can pull up accounts and perform specific actions on them from down here. So let's say that I want to assign, let's say that I lose an employee. This employee, let's see if there are even any accounts assigned to that employee. Let's find an employee that there are accounts assigned to. Here we go. So Chris has 17 accounts assigned to him, and Chris no longer works for my company. So what I'm going to go ahead and go in here and do is I'm going to search for all of Chris's accounts, and then I'm going to go down here and assign to collector and change them all to my other employee, and then click perform selected actions. So now Chris no longer has accounts assigned to him. Now we filter by ACHUA, and now those 17 accounts are assigned to that collector. So another handy way that this filtering comes into play. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to a new feature that we've just recently implemented. As you can see here, next work date, account number, debtor full name, client full name, collector username, current status, legal standing, current balance due, and originated date are the column headings that are listed here. And if you've used the software for any period of time and have done searches, you'll notice that that's a recent change. In your system, those have defaulted to a specific group, but those are customizable. So if we click on settings and we go down to the custom search results and click on custom search results, you can see that we have in our drop-down box, instead of next work date, we might want to look for a payment plan, the next payment plan due date, okay? Payment plan due amount next. That might want to be one of the fields that is going to populate on that search column. We might even want to sort by that particular amount. Another great feature of this listing is that custom fields are also on here. So some clients have a specific file number or a piece of information that is in a custom field that doesn't fit in one of our stock fields, and that's actually what they would prefer to see on their search list. Well, now they can. So any of your custom fields can now populate on that search list. So, and again, this is a sample database, so whether or not we have any of this information, let's see, we'll do a management pass date and a transport fax and a collision reference date. Okay, and we'll save those. And now we'll go back to our home search. And we're actually I'm just gonna click the magnifying glass to pull those up. And as we can see, there's a lot of information missing. We don't have a lot to go on here because we don't have those custom fields populated in our sample database. But you get the functionality of it, and it's very handy for a lot of clients. And of course, you can click the top of that column, which will reorganize that sorting as well. So please keep that in mind too. So I'm going to buzz over to the account export tool. if you haven't used the account export tool, it also is a very handy, not only to pull up accounts and to have a record of the accounts that exist inside your database, but also to run customized reports. Although you don't have actual calculations, you can't perform calculations automatically from these exports. You certainly can pull up the data that like a payment plan due date, or total interest due, or total costs, and then you can have that on your spreadsheet. So this account export tool is very handy, and your same filtering applies here as well. And so if I wanted to see all of my accounts for, let's say, 1-800-Flowers and China Cap, and to select more than one of these options inside of these boxes, I just hold down my control key. So I can scroll down here, I can hold down my control key and then click another one, and hold down my control key and click another one. And then I can go over here to collection statuses and look at active, and I can hold down my control key and click a couple others as well. So if I want to now export those accounts, I have an option of I can click my account number, which you'll always want to export. I'll want to click current balance due, and let's click export accounts and see what we get here. Now keep in mind also that if you are, we only have one account there, but keep in mind if you are sending your accounts in to be skip traced, you're going to want to first import your accounts, make sure that they're in the software first, and then use this export tool, including your account number, to export the data that the skip tracer is requesting. So always include your account number. That way when you go back, when you receive your file back and go to update the accounts, you can update them using that account number. The updater tools, whether it's the debtor file updater tool or the account updater tool, all use the account number. Okay.
So, John, when you're doing that export, will it only export to .csv, or can you export to .xlsx?
So CSV is compatible with Microsoft Excel. So if you have a CSV file on your computer and you have Microsoft Excel installed on your computer, when you double click that file name, it's going to open automatically in Microsoft Excel. But if you prefer, you can simply open that CSV file and save as, and save it as an Excel file. So for instance, if I go to, I'm just going to open that file back up. Sorry, that's my homework. Let me go to my export. Okay. So if I go to File, Save As, I can simply change my file format to an XLSX, and then I can save it. So now that file's in an XLSX. But essentially,
right,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say the simplicity will only export, though, in the .csv format, right? That's its default export.
Yes, to answer your question directly, yes, that's correct.
Okay,
only in
great.
CSV. Yep, sorry about that.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
I have a question too.
Please.
Okay, so when you do the export, is there any way to set it up so that the data comes out in a specific order, like the columns come out like, column A, column B, column C, instead of just in alphabetical order?
There is not. Yeah, I apologize.
No. Okay.
Yeah, that's a feature that certainly development might consider in the future, and something that you can talk to with them.
Okay, yeah. I just always have to redo my spreadsheet so that the data makes sense.
Right. Yeah, I'm sorry. That is the way that it exports right now. It's just in that same alphabetical order format.
Okay.
Well, that pretty much covers filters. The biggest thing, well, there's one other thing, I apologize. So let's say that I go through to this account exporter tool and I have, let me check these. I'm going to go Debtor City. Debtor City is obviously quite a bit of distance away from Debtor State and Debtor Zip. We need Debtor Address and Debtor Address 2. Okay. And let's go ahead and go, we need debtor name. Debtor full name. We'll try that. Debtor full name. Okay, and we've got account number, and let's do our client claim number, which is over here. So I've gone through, and let's say there's even more fields. I mean, I might go through here and check 20 different fields that take me time to locate. And if I had to do that every time, that would be very time consuming. And so we've created a feature that allows you to save configurations. So up here, if I go skip trace, and I'm right at the top up here, as you can see, skip trace is what I'm going to title this particular mapping. And this also includes all your filtering. So whatever filtering I've used here is also going to be memorized. And I click add. Now, when I go here and I can do another one with other filtering, I'm going to go all clients. I'm going to go all statuses. So I selected them all by clicking on the top one, and then I go all the way down to the bottom, and I hold my shift key and then click the bottom one, and it selects them all. So I have all collection statuses and all clients, which is the way it defaults when you go onto the page anyway. You don't actually have to choose those. When you go on the page, you have all these filters activated. Okay. But just for demonstration's sake, so I'm going to go skip trace 2, and then I'm going to click add. And so now when I go onto this page, I have a choice in my filters. I can go skip trace or skip trace 2. And of course, these are all the other sample ones that we've created. Yours are going to be blank when you first click that drop-down box. There won't be anything in it unless you've created something. So a very handy feature. That way you can just go here and you can click on it. We'll go to Tools, Bulk Account Manager. When we click this, you can see that skip trace and skip trace 2 is also in here. So you don't create those filters individually for each tool. They're created for all the filters. Okay, so no matter where you go, you're going to have those 2 filters available in the filter section. So you can load those and they'll be all ready for you. So one thing about it, of course, in the bulk account management tool is it's just going to load the filters and omit the selections that we've created in the export tool, those check boxes that we checked. But when we go back to the export tool, those will be available there. Any other questions, or do you have any questions about filtering? I know this is a pretty short training about it, but hopefully this gives you a better idea of, 1, the functionality of filtering, and 2, the importance of really taking stock of what these filters are and being able to utilize them within your normal workflow.
John, I do have a real quick question. What is a work list?
So work list, you can go to, if we go to Settings and Work List Configurations, I can create a work list that I can pull up. So let's say action codes. If I go selected, it's going to give me my action codes. And so I might want to click A through C, all my action codes. That probably is not a realistic scenario, but A through C for action codes. Statuses, I want to actually choose a status. So I want active, and let's say all my general. Looks like they did a lot of those. And then for ticklers, I may want to select specific ticklers. Payments due. So what this does is actually gives you a work list, right, that we would establish here. So let's see, balance due, we're going to go range. Anything from $100 to $1,000. And we can choose what we sort by. We will choose by balance due. And we're going to go descending order. And then I'm going to click that add. That's how we're going to sort by. Okay. And then I'm going to name this work list 99. Okay, so now I've saved that work list that has these specific criteria on it. And now I can pull that up at any time. So when I go back home or when I go up onto my quick search filter up here, I can pull up my work list. Work list, did I say work list 99? Oh, that's right. I have to go back home. Let me close that and go home. Work list 99. And now I apply those filters. And that's my work list 99 that pulls up. So from any of those tools, you can pull up work list 99. Does that make more sense?
Okay, so it's basically just like a save filter or save search.
That's correct. Right? Yep. Only more parameters on it than just this list, but that is correct. Yep.
Okay. It's actually pretty handy. Thank you.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And again, that work list is going to be blank when you pull it up on yours unless you created a work list. These are all just sample work lists we've created up. So you'll never want to cancel those, any updates. Of course, you'll want to install those immediately on your computer. Don't follow my lead there. But I just wanted to get rid of those for the sake of our recording.
Right.
Any other questions about filtering or pulling up accounts? Okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording, and this will be available on our website, so please keep that in mind. So, thank you all very much. If you have any requests for assistance or have any additional questions, please click on Help Desk, and then enter your ticket there. Thanks so much.